part that's been the bugaboo?
Well, I mean, we talked at halftime about the spirit of our team. You know, they were playing with, and I had a few personal things to say, but personal to the team about they were playing with their heart and just playing harder than us. And it was like every time we win a game in this series, the next game we come into it and we just didn't have the same juice. And it was like enough's enough. And we saw in the third quarter a little bit, but in the fourth, to hold that team to 24 points in the fourth when we needed stops, it was evident that it was going to be a game of wills, and we just had a little bit more in the fourth. But then, you look at DA going 10 for 12, and then I think Chris did something historical tonight in a closeout game. We needed it to win a game like this in front of an unreal crowd. And it's hard when you have to compete against someone you love. And so there was tons of emotions with this game. I'm glad we won, but I know what it feels like to be on the other side, and I just felt for Willie. But I was unbelievably elated for our team. So there's just this weird back and forth with my feelings and my heart right now, but I'm just grateful to get this win. It was a really cool win for us.
We saw that at the end, you and Willie embracing, and he embraced Chris, Devin. He had the tears flowing. Couldn't tell whether you did or not during that hug, but is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's just those guys. I mean, we're all family. You know what I mean? And I just read in Coach K's book. He was talking about competing against people that he loved, and then that's. You shouldn't have to do that, but it's a part of our game, and I know what Willie brought to the table for our program, and you saw it this year with this program. And I had a lot of conversations with him earlier in the season when things weren't going well, and Willie Green is one of the more steady people that I've ever been around, and he was consistent and stable and strong through it all. And it's one of the reasons why they continue to get better. And I just know that feeling. I know what it's like. And so to see him in that, in that place, that's a tough spot for all of us, because at the end of the day, we're all friends, we're all brothers. And after we're done coaching, we're going to be that way.
Last thing I had was just your usage of Booker. Obviously, he got to start. Then he didn't start the second half. I'm just curious what was working for, or what were you thinking?
I thought we were going to have a fist fight over there. The look he gave me. We had already talked about it, but we had to stick to the plan because it was going to be easier to finish with him and keep his minutes relatively lower. Now, I played him about 8 more minutes than I wanted to. We wanted to keep him at about 24. But I was just watching him, and he didn't look like he was dragging it or laboring at all, and there wasn't many transition opportunities where he was the guy flying, where you may have to push that thing too far. And he told me, he said, "Coach, I feel fine and strong. I have no issues." So I just left him out there.
You've seen Chris play so many games. What was tonight like? What is it right?
Oh gosh, it's hard to say. I can't even. He's done it so many times. It's probably number one because it just happened, and I know how special New Orleans is to him. He cares deeply about the city, about the people here, the fans, the children. So for him to come back here and play that way, I know it was, really cool for him, but it's probably number one because it just happened. But I've seen him do it so many times.
In terms of, you've talked about when Book was out, how everybody steps up, now having him back. I know it wasn't his, highest scoring game or whatever, but how did you see the way that it kind of reshifted everything for everybody?
Obviously he competes his tail off on defense, which he doesn't get enough credit for, but the shots that he hit in the second half, the pull-up mid-range shot, not many people can get to that shot, let alone make the shot. But the three in front of our bench, like that was textbook book. I mean, there was so much attention on Chris, and somebody lost him, and he just did what Book does. So I thought the offense was a bit off in the first half. I thought in the second half we played in environments a lot better, but it was good to have another anchor out there. When Chris was going, we could also give it to Book and let him, do what he does really well.
We've talked a lot about Mikal Bridges, but his defense on
Yeah.
CJ the whole series, and then that steal that he had near the end, just
Yeah, I mean, he's just one of those rare, high energy, highly effective defenders that can also be productive on offense at a high level. We thought we were going to take his head off when he went under on Ingram in the corner, and Ingram got the three. He didn't want to look at the bench because he knew that was the wrong read. But then he comes right back and gets a steal and converts on that. That's Mikal. I mean, if you go back to the bubble against the Clippers, we ended up with the ball because he got a big-time deflection that you couldn't choreograph it. He just got his hand on the ball. We got it back. Book hits a game-winning shot. I mean, those are the kinds of plays that he just has the instincts to make.
Monty.